Hey guys, I'm Destiny. This is Monday Mail number 24. I'm going to jump right into the questions here. The first one coming from Kabocha13. Holy shit, this guy writes a fucking novel. Sup, Destiny. In a recent video with Ice Poseidon, you explained the concept of how certain kinds of humor attract certain kinds of people. He's been having trouble with his community, and when he asked, what would you do if you were in my situation, you took a jab at him when he responded with, I don't know, because I would never be in your situation. It was an objectively witty jab, but what I found even funnier was how this is coming from a guy who, in the past, has made occasional jokes about rape and was somewhat notorious on TL.net for obscene language and his stance on not censoring himself, even getting banned for related reasons. You've talked on occasion about how you've changed as a person over time. Personally, I've been a fan since you started streaming on Justin TV, and while people back then may have been overdramatic about things you've said, it does feel like you've dialed it down on obscenities. For example, I don't remember the last time I heard you use the word faggot, but I don't know if that's due to a conscious effort or that you don't play against Terrence anymore. Other noticeable changes have been your expanded vocabulary and the diversity of discussion topics, whereas once upon a time, your on-stream intellectual/pseudo-intellectual discussions were predominantly about StarCraft builds and balance. Now you encourage and engage in more conversations about other games as well as politics and other social issues. My question is, from your perspective, has your change in language and maybe humor output affected the type of audience you attract, and if so, how? Does your experience seem to affirm the meme that certain kinds of humor attract certain kinds of people? I may be a long-time follower, but I don't have the best memory of what the community was like back then. My interactions were limited to hanging out on Skype with people like Mez, White Wolf, and Czar. While I remember them as being reasonable and intelligent folk, it's a small sample size and was a long time ago. And there were other people, like the mods of TL.net, who didn't exactly have high opinions of your fan base back then. Bonus question, what's your favorite Pokemon? Thanks. Less than sign 3. So obviously, as a result of how I acted early on, I mean, you gain a certain type of fan base. I mean, just being in gaming, you gain a certain type of fan base. I mean, if we're frank, right, the type of people that are attracted to gaming tend to be a lot more right-leaning. Now, whether that's because demographically, white people tend to be more right-leaning, white men tend to be more right-leaning, if you look at like the election results, and white men are the main people that play games, or whether the Gamergate stuff drove more people to the right or left or whatever, like, is up for debate, right? But we know, for the most part, if we're being honest, gaming communities are predominantly right-leaning people. I think that the way that you conduct yourself will be will definitely play into the type of fan base that you collect. I have been racy. I don't want to use that word. I mean, I've been pretty edgy in the past, but I don't think I've ever gotten jokes with blatantly racist humor. I can't think of ever doing it. I know I called the one dude a goot because I got really fucking mad because he pretended to be that he was speaking fucking Korean. Fuck that dude. That guy fucking baited me hardcore. But I mean, aside from that, like, really, that's like the only instance I think where I've ever actually said that to somebody. Like, racial humor isn't really. When I say racial humor, I mean, I guess like sometimes we do say there are some racial jokes, but for me personally, most of them are very tongue-in-cheek, and it's not really a large part of my stream. I don't think that, like, I have some haters out there that maybe very vocally hate me that don't really watch my stream that might say like, oh, Destiny, he's that guy who uses race humor all the time. But like, if you watch my stream often, it's just not the type of joke that you expect to hear on my stream. Like, it's very rare that I'm engaging in like racist humor. And I guess on the flip side of that, there are a lot of streamers these days that will like get the donations like the nigger, like, oh God, oh, you know, spam tryhard, oh, like that kind of shit where it's like, I don't want to. The people themselves might not be racist, but like, there's definitely like a racial undertone to a lot of like, I don't know. Tryhard spam seems a little bit stupid to me, and it's gotten to be like a really big thing in some chat rooms. I guess maybe the closest thing I ever had was when some people do the over Russell base god no tears, which has become kind of a meme. Which I guess we tried to curb people on doing that. Like, that's not something that I would encourage people to spam or anything. But yeah, I don't know. I've never been big on like the. I've never been big on the racist humor because it's too easy to find yourself like unintentionally surrounded by racists, which I hate. I fucking hate bigoted people. I can't fucking stand them, especially because most of them haven't accomplished anything or done anything to be like proud of themselves or were worthy of even respect for anything. So for them to denigrate an entire race when they mean fuck all to anybody else on their own, like, I don't know, those kinds of things. It's an ego thing. It's an intelligence thing. Like, all of that like really fucking bothers me. So, yeah, I don't know. I've never really wanted to find myself in the company racist. From your perspective, I'm repeating the question, has your change in language and maybe humor affected the type of audience you attract, and if so, how? I don't really think that, I would hope I recognize a lot of names as having been with me for a long time. I think that a lot of the people that still fall farther to the right than me probably watch me because they're not insanely far to the right. I think that I've probably lost some fans that are very far to the right, especially with the recent Trump memes. I have no regrets, dude. If you're like a massive trouble, you're fucking dumber than dirt anyway. Like, I really don't give a fuck. So I mean, I'm sure that I have lost some extreme right fans. I don't know if I've gained. I guess the kind of sad thing is I don't think I've gained any extreme left leaning people because I probably will never identify with the SJW crowd as much as of a white prepping the bull cuck SJW libtard, I guess, now as I am. I'll probably never be left leaning enough for the pansexual, gender fluid, pony gender LGBTQIASDF. I'll probably never gather that audience. So I don't know. I like to pick up people in the middle that don't lean hardcore to either side, and I would hope to pick up people that are a little bit more reasonable and intelligent than the average Twitch chat. I know that I do have a lot of very intelligent people in my Twitch chat, or in my Destiny GG chat, and even I guess in my Twitch chat. The Banana Thug dude, and fuck, I can't think of any of the names at the moment, but you guys are out there, right? I know you're out there. So yeah, I don't know. I guess it's hard to say. Anytime I get into like the moral or ethical debates with people, I still see people in my chat spamming both sides. I think that my side still leans pretty heavily to the right, just because I'm in the gaming platform. But I guess the people that are still here obviously haven't been driven off by my libcuck views so far. So hopefully that trend continues. As for what's your favorite Pokemon, is this the meme that we all know and love? Where I'm supposed to say Blastoise because he said it in the one YouTube video. Fucking off yourself. Okay. The second question comes from TehPolecat. I feel like you've had multiple questions here before, but this question is only regarding your Twitter and Reddit arguments. What exactly is your goal when arguing via text? I know that being snarky and rude is kind of your thing, but it makes it less likely the other person will change their mind. So do you just do it for your own entertainment and for the people who already agree with you? I guess it's twofold. Usually I just like to shut on people on Twitter because fuck them. I put no stock and no value in those conversations. If I'm lucky, maybe I'll get a fucker that actually wants to come on a stream and hash out. Like, my ultimate goal is to convert Twitter arguments into on-stream arguments because then I can actually hash out, the arguments with people. One of the things that's bothered me a lot about this election cycle, about people in general, is the worst thing the internet gave us was the ability to access any community that we wanted to, because it made it so that we could find any opinion that we wanted to online that we agreed with, so that we could go and agree with them. And then we could find affirmation for anything that we agree with, and we never have to confront an idea that makes us uncomfortable. It's very, very important for a lot of people, is to avoid feeling uncomfortable. And the way that we seek I guess comfort as our core value is the thing to say. The way that we seek comfort tends to be in validating our opinions by other people online, right? That's where circle jerks come from, and it's why they're the most popular form of internet community. Go to our politics, go to our the Donald, go to PC Master Race. Any community is going to be like this. I guess the thing that bothers me is, like, if you want to circle jerk and be, intellectually incompetent or whatever, like, I mean, that's all on you. I don't give a fuck. But when people act smug as fuck about being idiots, that really fucking bothers me. If you want to go and jerk off in your own little corner and be a retard, that's fine. But when you start getting on social media where you're posting things that the entire world can see and evaluate, and the things that you're saying are fucking wrong and stupid and idiotic, and you're acting smug as fuck about it, like hashtag, like mainstream media all fake, like, oh, look at this Breitbart, like, nah, like, fuck you, dog. Like, I'm gonna sit there and shit all over you for being a fucking retard. Like, and I wish more people would, like, or maybe not. I don't know. Fuck, because maybe that means you're just more likely to go off into your hug box. I don't know what the solution is. How do you solve human stupidity? I don't know. Well, I guess like my ultimate goal, I'm trying to get as hard as I can to get Lauren Southern to actually want to engage me in a debate, but I don't think it'll ever happen, for obvious reasons. But fuck, man, people just say stupid shit and repost the dumbest shit like over and over and over again, and like don't even have a problem with it. In Lauren Southern's most recent video, I guess, for an example, because she's the current one that I'm really trying to do to get into a debate. She has like on her most recent video, she talks about how immigrants are raping and murdering everybody, like, in all of fucking Europe, right? The first article that she links in her video is a credible article. I don't remember what it was exactly, but I'd seen the publication before and I knew that, like, this is a credible meme. So I was like, okay, well, damn, if this is her source for this, okay, well, I'll go read about it, because you have to be very careful. I don't want to, because I can't misspeak on anything ever, right? You have to consider, when you're in my position, I've got 10, 20, 30,000 people that are ready to call me out immediately if I get anything wrong ever, right? consider that sometimes, right? You can bullshit a lot in your life. I can never bullshit, because if I say anything even remotely incorrect, I've got tons of people ready to jump down my throat, right? So keep that through your mind whenever I'm making statements, right? I'm throwing a statement out there into a wind of thousands of Trumples that are fucking like right on the fucking edge of that orgasm, that they're waiting to call me out on some bullshit, right? So and her claim in the video is that immigrant crimes are up 74% across Germany, where all of these immigrants coming in and they're raping and murdering everyone. It's like, okay, well, that's a pretty extreme claim, and she links an article to back it up. So let's go look at the article. So we go and we click the article and we look at it, and the article says that immigrant crimes are up by 70-some%, but immigration was up by like 450%. Right? So the immigration was actually massively outpacing the amount of immigrant crime, right? So the reality of the situation was that article actually told the exact opposite story, and it even said as much in the article. It told the exact opposite story about crime amongst immigrants, that it was actually per capita much lower, right? I mean, anytime you bring in an influx of people, there's going to be inevitably some crime. And then like the total stat number was that like of all the, and this is all crime, right? Of all the crimes committed, like sex crimes were like less than 1% of all the crimes committed, right? Now, is it good that immigrants commit crime? Like, do they deserve blah, 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 whatever. Those are arguments that you can have, but that's a fundamentally different argument than what are we going to do? Or that's a fundamentally different question than like, what are we going to do about all of these immigrants that are all coming in and all massively committing rapes and murders, right? Like when people post shit like this, it makes me so incredibly upset. You don't understand how fucking upset that I get, because instead of having a conversation about things that exist in reality, we have to argue about fantasy, right? Do you understand how fucking irritating that is? That when there are real problems that the world is facing, we have a very real problem. Immigration is a real problem all over the world. The United Kingdom left, or they're probably not going to, but the people voted on Brexit, right? We voted on Trump. A lot of these votes have been over the issues of immigration. Fucking Merkel is starting to suggest banning the fucking burqas or whatever in public now. Even she is starting to move to the right? So obviously these are serious issues that warrant discussion, but how can you even begin to have a discussion with somebody who thinks that the majority of immigrants in fucking Germany are raping and murdering people? Like, this person isn't capable of having a discussion, but they are capable of showing up at the polls and fucking voting, right? And then you have people in the media, people that work for things like Breitbart or InfoWars or Rebel Media or whatever, right? Who are responsible for pushing this kind of filth. Now, don't get me wrong. Fox News, MSNBC, and CNN, like, these guys are complicit in their own crimes, right? But it's nowhere near the level of the absolute absurdity that is this new wave of crazy alt-right media. Like, if I go to CNN.com and I read an article, I know exactly what I'm getting. I am getting factual information with a left-leaning spin. Much the same way, okay? I am a libcuck. You know this, right? I'm a libcuck. I literally... is my hair a little bit messed up? It's because I was prepping the bowl earlier to go and fuck my wife, okay? That's how much of a libcuck I am. Even being that much of a libcuck, I will tell you that I know that if I go to Fox News and read an article, pretty much everything in that article is probably going to be factually correct. I know that. It's definitely going to have a right-leaning bias. I know that as well. But for the most part, it'll be factually correct. So factually correct, like, even places like Fox News have the integrity. Oh, fuck, I wish I remember the example. Where where one of the anchors... somebody in the comments will know this. One of the Fox News anchors had to make an apology for reporting. It had to do with the Clinton indictment thing. Fuck. Yeah, it had something to do with the email things where they said, and it wasn't even like, I think it was because they said that there was a likely indictment coming. It was something like that, right? Brett Baer, right? I think it was this guy, right? He had to come on and apologize for that statement, right? He had to apologize for that. Meanwhile, you've got people in the InfoWars and Rebel Media and shit saying things like 100% indictment coming, like 100% the FBI 100% knows that this is, like, holy shit, there's no integrity. There's no integrity. There's no fact checking. There's no one cares about the facts or any of the information. All they care about is pushing a narrative down the throats of these people that are hungry for it, right? And when you've got people that are probably bigoted, I won't say racist because I guess Islam and Mexico aren't nations, right? Likely bigoted, people that are pretty anti-immigration, people that are very, white pride or whatever, right? These guys will accept any story. I could make a successful media company in this political climate. I know I could. I could write the articles myself, and I could fucking publish it myself. I could buy the fucking time on Facebook because I know how to write these articles. These articles, anybody with a brain could write these articles, right? Like fucking like headline: Germany, December 12th, 2016. Another random person today was found dead. Right? You could just make up names because that's what some of these tabloid shits do, right? Not the Guardian, the Daily Mail, right? The Daily Mail, and then there's one other. We'll just make up names. Totally make up names. Random guy was found dead on the street today. Likely murder was Muhammad al-Muhammad, right? Make up some random fucking name. You post a stock picture, because a lot of these pictures that are posting are just stock pictures of like a random Muslim dude or a random body in the street. Or you post a stock picture that if you right-clicked and search for it, you can find it, right? This is the body, this is the police line, right? You just write this shit up, and then you link to 50 million other websites on the side that agree with you, and all of a sudden people are posting your shit all over Facebook, right? The Federalist Papers, I don't know, all these fucking websites that my mom fucking posts. I removed it from Facebook, so I can't even fucking read them anymore. Like all of these, that black dude that does the super right-leaning commentary, the Rebel Medias, the InfoWars, the Breitbarts, like all of these people have no care at all in the world if what they're publishing is just completely and total fucking bullshit or not, right? And again, like, let me come back to my point. Being anti-immigration is a defensible position. Being anti-minimum wage is a defensible position. Being anti massive push for subsidization of alternative energies is a defensible position. These are positions that not only can be defended, they should be defended, because it means that both sides have to do their due diligence to arrive at a logical conclusion. Okay? Now, when I say that anti-immigration is defensible, the point that we need to stop immigrants because 95% of them are raping and murdering women is not defensible. You're not arguing in reality land there. And you're not letting either side do their due diligence when you hijack the conversation and make it about something that doesn't happen, right? If we give businesses unlimited money, they'll do the right thing and hire people. That's not a defensible position, right? We can argue if maybe a minimum wage should or shouldn't exist, but the idea that businesses should run completely unchecked with no oversight whatsoever, when you've got Trump talking about things like repealing Dodd-Frank, right, and not putting any kind of legislation to stand in place of it, right? This isn't reality. This isn't the world that we live in. You can't do this, right? Now we're not having a real conversation anymore. Like, what are we even talking about, right? Do people push climate change too much and exaggerate the claims too much? Are we subsidizing shit forms of alternative energy like corn-based ethanol that's garbage as fuck and only exists on subsidiaries? Are there better ways to do it? Should we utilize fossil fuels more and not penalize people for, like, I don't know, maybe. These are legitimate questions, But climate change is just a giant hoax caused by China that we shouldn't even look into. Like, that's not a conversation that intelligent people can have, because you're already off into fucking loony land, right? You're already off into fucking loony land. Yeah, it sucks because I feel like both sides deserve their representation, but they don't get it. They don't get it. And it bothers me that there are all of these people on Twitter that are so comfortable supporting Trump, even after the numerous fuck-ups, even after his fuck-ups in Taiwan, even after he puts fucking ex-COO of fucking Goldman Sachs as his the National Economic Advisor, even after he nominates the fucking T-Rex as a Secretary of State position, even after fucking whatever, 50 million even after he tweets in 2014 that Obama was fucking his job up for not going to intelligence briefings, and then he tweets that he's too intelligent to go to intelligence briefings, even after he's still tweeting, making fun of people on fucking Saturday Night Live. Why? Even after he tweets and says that he saved 1,100 jobs at that carrier plant, and we find out that not only was he wrong and lied about that, he not only was he wrong and lied about that, he gave the company he promised them a fuck ton of tax breaks in order to save a few jobs, so he pretty much bowed over and sucked them off, right? Made a deal. And he lied about the amount of jobs that he was saving. It wasn't the 1,100 he said, it was a much smaller number. And the union leader that came out and said that has been a union leader for like 30 years. When he came out and said that Trump lied about it, Trump bashed him on fucking Twitter for it. What the fuck, right? Regardless of all, and this is only like in the past 2 weeks. Fuck, this is only in the past 2 weeks. It really bothers me that there are all these people that are so pro-Trump on Twitter, and I haven't found a single one to come on and talk to me. I can't find a single one. None of them will do it. Really makes you think. Every single person I pulled on that's been a Trump supporter has always, by the end of the conversation, said, "Well, I'm not really a big Trump supporter. I really just don't like Hillary." Like, Really, dude? That's why you've got like build the wall posted hashtag 500 fucking times on all of your social media. I don't even. What was the question? Do you just do it for your own entertainment? The reason why I bash people on Twitter is because I fucking hate people on Twitter. That's actually why I do it. It's actually totally emotional. I just fucking hate idiots, dude. I hate people that are fucking idiots. And when I say idiots, I don't mean people that like don't know everything. I don't know everything, dude. I'm fucking retarded on 99% of the shit I talk about. I have cursory level knowledge of a lot of different things, and that's it. Barely enough to get by. But I don't pretend that I never pretend that I know more than I do, right? And if somebody shows up and they know way the fuck more than me, typically I'm just there to listen, right? My conversation with Ryan Dawson was me asking questions the entire time. I'm never going to go in front of somebody, especially if I know they know more than me, and pretend that I know some shit. I'm never going to hop on fucking Twitter and tweet about a whole bunch of shit and ignore every piece of evidence to the contrary. And you better fucking believe that if somebody tweets some shit to make me change, that totally stands in the face of what I'm saying and they're 100% factually correct, I'm changing my opinion fucking instantly, because I don't want to be that fucking idiot that's so dug into their own position emotionally that they'll never ever change their mind. How many questions was that? That was fucking that was 2 questions. All right, the third question comes from Telariosh. Hey, Destiny. You've mentioned in previous videos that you try to stop using words such as faggot/autism in a derogatory context because of the negative connotations that come with using that language. However, overall, your content is still very open and broad, covering everything from politics to religion. Are there any topics that you would consider too out there, too taboo, too crazy to talk about on stream? Not really. No, I think I'm down to talk about most things because I think that you should be able to talk about most things. I don't really agree. I don't like the concept of taboo. Like, what, you're not allowed to talk about something? I don't know. That's very strange to me. That's also why when we're having conversations about, like, if I'm talking about the word nigger, I'm going to say the word nigger. We're not going to say fucking N-word or stupid shit like that, because I don't have time for that shit, okay? Like, if we're going to have a conversation about something, let's talk about it, right? I don't agree with this concept, like, that there are things that are too taboo to talk about. If it exists in our reality, then you have to be fucking prepared to deal with it, right? Now, obviously, if it's a very personal issue, like I guess like you could say like the size of your dick or whatever could be taboo. Like, we don't have to go into like extreme personal things, but things like, should incest be legal or illegal? Are racial slurs, like, good or bad? I don't know. I guess we were arguing a little bit about bestiality on Twitter a while ago. Like, no, I think these topics are fine for discussion. And I mean, if a topic is taboo, it probably needs to be discussed more, right? Because, I mean, I don't know. What does it mean when you say something is taboo? You're not allowed to talk about it? I don't know. That just seems very, that seems very strange to me. Something that I've noticed that really fucking bothers me a lot. This is kind of related to this. Something I've noticed that really bothers me a lot. When I grew up, I grew up, not to get too far into stories. I grew up relatively independent from parental guidance. My parents, there were 2 big phases, right? My parents ran a daycare from their house, which meant that my mom and dad were spending most of their time, well, my mom really was spending most of her time with taking care of the daycare kids, and I'd be off on my own. And then my mom moved away, and then my dad moved away, and then I was kind of on my own with my grandma from 16 to 18, right? So as a result of this, my primary influences in life were typically Eastern influences. Should I say that? How about just Japanese, right? So my main influences in life were pretty much like JRPGs and anime, right? One thing that I've noticed in Western culture is that it's very, very common to kind of make fun of people that are intelligent, or kind of like poke fun at that. But I don't think I ever see that in Asian media, or I should say Japanese. I keep saying Asian, but I really just mean Japanese. I guess like let me kind of point out an example of this. I guess if you think of all the animes you watched, okay. As a general rule of thumb in animes, usually nobody is ever just made fun of for being smart, and usually nobody ever looks cool acting dumb. I'm trying to think of if. Usually that like never happens. We can cite specific animes, I guess. fucking Gundam Wing, right? These are animes I watched growing up. Like in Gundam Wing, right? All of the Gundam pilots were very physically capable, but they were also all very intelligent, right? They all were fucking master hackers in their computers, and they could pilot their Gundams, and they would, wax philosophy and all that shit, right? And for the most part, they were pretty intelligent people. And when they talked to the scientists, they usually talked to the scientists as equals, right? This happened like it just was, right? They spoke to them like people speaking to people. In JRPGs, let's go with Metal Gear Solid. Snake and Otacon always spoke to each other as equals, right? You never, ever, ever had this moment where Snake says something and he's like, Otacon, what's going on with this? And Otacon is like, well, here we have the nuclear pleural effusion neo reactor, right? Like some crazy thing. And then Snake is like, could you say that in English now? Right? That never, ever happened. Snake was a very intelligent character. Raiden was a very intelligent character. The Colonel, everybody that you interacted with, Major Zero, Ocelot, all of these people were just intelligent. It was just, they were all smart. And nobody ever had a meme. Even fucking Olga, everybody was smart. Nobody ever had this meme where you had like the hero or the protagonist who was also kind of dumb, but like made fun of it. Like he didn't need to be smart. Whereas like in American media, or Western media, I should say, because I'll point to like James Bond, typically you have, at least in the newer and the Daniel Craig James Bonds, you have like the James Bond guy who's like the master dude, and then you have like the nerdy computer hacker guy who kind of gets kind of little tongue-in-cheek made fun of, like, can you say that in English for me? Like they're always like vastly separate people, right? They're always like very separate people. This is one of the reasons why I liked the Bourne movies, because the Jason Bourne guy was pretty smart. It wasn't always like that headstrong, like not super intelligent, but he didn't need his intelligence, right? Whereas I feel like in Western memes, like you always kind of have like that geeky computer guy, and you kind of make fun of him sometimes. And then you always have those cheeky lines where like the protagonist is like, can you break that down for me? Like, why don't you say that in something that we can understand, right? Like that always kind of happens. And it seems really rare that that people will ever like speak to each other as equals. Even I think it even happens to some extent in the Avengers, where the Bannon guy, who is that, the Hulk dude, and then the Tony Stark are like the really smart ones, and then Captain America will act like he's totally lost in conversations and doesn't understand what either people are talking about. Yeah, what am I getting at with all of this? I'm sorry. I guess like the thing that I'm getting at with all of this is that when I grew up, intelligence is something that I always revered, and I always thought it'd be really cool to be an intelligent person. Like it's just something that'd be cool. And I never in my life would I ever have imagined like making fun of somebody for wanting to try to become more intelligent. It would just never occur to me to make fun of somebody for being nerdy or whatever. I noticed that it's a trend a lot. And I'll see it like if a clip of mine gets posted to live stream fails or whatever, whether it's upvoted or downvoted, depends on the day, where people will be like, oh, just two people who know nothing talking about nothing. Oh, just two people that shouldn't be having this conversation, talking about shit they know nothing about. And it's like, well, damn, dude, are the only people, are only politicians allowed to discuss politics? Are only scientists allowed to discuss science? Like, are only, wait, like, you have to be like a major in economics in order to like have a discussion on like minimum wage? Like, I don't know. I feel like the more people that have these conversations, the better it is. I guess I'm kind of bringing this back in terms of like too taboo, or why do I cover politics and religion so much on stream? Like these are things that I want everybody to talk about all the time. I think that everybody should be talking about these topics. I don't think that there's any group of people that are beneath talking about like minimum wage or foreign policy or the legal system or the impacts of global warming. Like there's no group of people that don't deserve to have this conversation. This is the world that all of us live in, and we vote for the politicians that make decisions that affect this world that all of us live in. There is no conversation that is above a certain group of people, and it makes me, I guess, really sad that Western idea is still pervasive in a culture of nerds that play video games, that this same group of people that used to be bullied in school for being nerds and playing video games would turn around and say to people like, why are you having these pseudo-intellectual conversations? Like, if somebody's saying something stupid, by all means, fucking call them out for it, right? I'll speak about philosophy on my stream and fully acknowledge that, I don't know fuck all about philosophy, and invite someone on who knows more if they want to talk about it, right? But I'm never going to pretend to be a Athene and pretend that I have, like, the answers to all of life and everything, right? Without the necessary credentials. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. That was like a really roundabout kind of answer to that question. Are there any topics you consider too out there or too taboo? I don't think so, man. I think everything is fair games for discussion, because everything happens in real life, dude. Open your fucking eyes. If it happens in real life, like, you should be prepared to discuss it and talk about it, because you need to. It's part of the fucking world we live in, man. Yeah. That's it. Whew. That's what we got, dude. Fucking 29 minutes. This is a special birthday edition. I should have said it was my birthday at the start of the fucking video, man. And then I could have said make sure to like and subscribe if you want to help me celebrate my birthday. I don't know. This is a long video. I bet somebody's going to turn on the thing and they're going to be like, 30 minutes, this fucking cuck. This fucking cuck probably inserted like 20 minutes at the end to fucking meme us out. This little cuck shit. If you did that, and you spoiled the surprise for you, well, fuck you. Because now I bet you went forward and you spoiled some of the Monday mail for you, and you had to go back and find your place. So I hope you got real fucked when you did that, buddy. And you know who you are. Because statistically speaking, there's at least like 20 of you out there, all right? And I know you did it. I'm talking exactly to you right now. And you're kind of like, you're probably turning a little bit red. You're like, oh, fucking doubt. I'm going to leave a funny comment. Don't leave a funny comment. I fucking hate you. You're the worst kind of person that would disrespect the length and the format of my YouTube video to try to go ahead to figure out if I was memeing on you or not, okay? If I'm going to meme on you, you should accept my memes in the presentation that I've given them to you, okay? And the way that I've laid them out, okay? Don't be a meme spoiler, okay? Because the next time you fast forward in a video, you might not like what you see, all right? I'm going to give you that much. You might not like, there might be, you've ever seen somebody coming up in a fucking cage after they've been held underwater and drowned by fucking ISIS militants? Maybe the next time you fast forward, maybe you're going to see a dude's face getting fucking melted off by a flamethrower. You don't know that. So just think about that. Just think about that the next time you decide to fast forward through one of my fucking meme videos. Anyway, this is my birthday today. When you see this, yeah. So thanks a lot for watching. I love you guys. I don't know why I put that in there. Oh, no, actually, I don't know why. Like or subscribe if you like the video. I'll see you guys later. Have fun. Peace out.